Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see by the title, today your girl is doing a story time because there are a lot of stories I can tell, but there's like people that I have to ask permission in order to tell those stories. So let me just backtrack with that. But with this particular one, not so much. So if you guys are curious to see what's gonna happen, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl down below. And yeah, keep on watching. All right guys, so basically this is going to be the story time on how I was best friends with a compulsive liar, basically. Like, y'all, if there was a picture for the word gullible, my face should have been next to that picture. Like that, I was the definition of gullible. Like, let me give y'all a quick backstory, right? I'm the type of person, like, in my household when I was raised, it was literally my mom, my dad, me, my little brother, and my two younger sisters, right? My parents, for the most part, I would say definitely kept it real with me. Like, they didn't sugarcoat nothing, or like basically like if I were to ask them a question, like they won't lie. Like, I never believed in the Easter Bunny. I never believed in the Tooth Fairy. I never believed in Santa Claus. Like, my parents always flat out told me ABCD, like, this is what it is. Like, if they was broke, they would tell me they was broke. If they was struggling, they would tell me they was struggling. XYZ. So basically, with that being said, like, whenever somebody would tell me something, I wouldn't be second guessing it. Like, I would like wholeheartedly believe what they're telling me because of basically the way I was raised. Now, granted, this whole situation, whatever, happened my freshman year in high school. And so basically, long story short, this is kind of like around the time where, like, I was transitioning between being like the girl that got bullied 24/7, which I could actually make a whole nother story time about that. But I got bullied like crazy in like 6th grade, and in 7th and 8th grade I kind of transitioned into not getting bullied as much. With this particular situation, I do know that depending on where you are, some high schools it's 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you know, depending on, you know, your situation. But with me, the school, how my school district was at the time, there was like an intermediate type school. So basically 7th and 8th grade I was in middle school, and then 9th and 10th grade was like the intermediate school. So it was like between like middle school and like actually like the big like castle on the hill. Basically the way it was set up is that whoever is in your homeroom class, you actually also have your English class, your science class, math class, and also your social studies class with your homeroom. And then you also had your lunch periods, you had your electives, and you had like your health and gym classes or whatever. So with all that being said, basically whoever you were in your homeroom with, you would spend the majority of your day with, honestly. So it would only kind of make sense that you would be kind of clicked up to who you're basically going to spend that school year with. I mean, granted, you have your other friends like during lunch and stuff like that, but for like 90% of the day, you're with the same amount of people. So I, being the shy person that I am, like, I used to be so shy. Like, I couldn't hold a conversation to save my life. I used to be super scared to talk to people. And I feel like a reason why that happened is because I did get bullied so bad in 6th grade, and I was still like somewhat recovering from that. But basically, this one girl was in my homeroom class, and let's just name her Brittany. Now, Brittany was the compulsive liar. Now, just a disclaimer as well, all the people that I mentioned in this video, if you guys figure out who I'm talking about, there is absolutely no beef, no animosity whatsoever. Granted, it's 2020. I'm 23 years old, turning 24 in less than 6 months. I graduated 2015, so do the math. Like, this happened years, like almost 10 years ago. So there's no beef, nothing like that. I just wanted to say that disclaimer. So basically, Brittany, she wasn't like super popular, but she also wasn't like super nerdy either. Like, she was like in the middle, kind of like how I was. So Brittany basically came up to me, like we were talking or whatever, and she seemed really nice, you know. And so we're chit-chatting, talking about each other, learning about each other. And lo and behold, she tells me that she has a twin. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, okay, that's cool. That's dope. Da-da-da. Like, I want to meet her. Da-da-da. Like, you know, like, because Brittany seemed like a really nice, chill girl. So might as well meet her sister too, right? And like she would kind of like dance around the subject a little bit, and she would kind of like try to change the subject, but I didn't really think anything of it because like in my mind I'm like, you know, who would lie about having a twin, you know what I'm saying? So what else did she, oh, and then so, you know, we ended up starting being friends with these other two girls as well. For the sake of the video, let's call them J-Lo and Beyonce. I know, super random, but whatever. So J-Lo and Beyonce, we actually started talking to them as well. So kind of like the four of us kind of became like a little clique or whatever, like within our homeroom class. So like every single class, we would all try to sit together, we would all try to partner up together, whatever. So basically like J-Lo and Beyonce, whenever Britney would bring up her twin or whatever, like they would kind of give each other like an unspoken look, like, okay, like you keep talking about your twin, sis, but we don't see her. Now mind you, at this point it's been like a couple weeks into the school year and I've still yet to see this girl's twin. And I'm just like, okay. And mind you, me being so gullible, like even when like we've started becoming friends on social media and stuff like that, I did not see no pictures of them together. I did not see no relationship. I saw no friends. I forget what she even said her twin's name was. I don't even remember. But I'm just like, but me being the super gullible person that I was, like I did want to smack myself like how gullible I was. I still believed her, even though whenever she would bring up her twin or whatever, like even when she would bring up her twin or whatever, like Beyonce and J-Lo would like keep giving each other looks like, okay. And I remember the one time the three of us were talking because Britney, I think she had missed school or whatever, like there was like, oh, I don't think she really has a twin, like I don't see her, like have you ever seen her twin before, and and I was dead sticking up for this girl, like, oh no, she really has a twin, like why would she lie about something like that, like she has a twin, girl. Like how am I so freaking gullible? And then on top of that too, like she would say, like not only did she say that she had a twin, she also said that her twin was pregnant. And it was the most, and mind you, it was when we were on our way to class. So she told me her twin was pregnant, and then I think like a couple of days later, we were on our way to some random class. I forget if it was either that or we were having like a fire drill or something. But basically, I specifically remember us walking down the steps because we were on the 5th freaking floor, the top floor, which lucky me, I had to climb up all them steps. But anyways, so we were coming down the steps and she pointed to this random boy that I actually thought was kind of cute because like he had long hair, like a ponytail. Like I don't know why, like back in the day I used to love guys with long hair. Now I don't, like you gotta have a shape up and all that. But anyways, so she pointed to him and she was like, oh, that's her baby dad. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I was like, damn, that kind of sucks because he was kind of cute. And I'm just like, he also doesn't look like the type of person that would do that, you know what I mean? Like granted, like around this time, like everybody's like 14, 15 years old. So I was like, okay. And again, still believe in the girl, right? Because I'm stupid. I was so gullible, y'all. Like it makes me cringe how gullible I was. But anyways, so like again, like the lies kept going on and going on and going on. And like she would actually be somewhat consistent about like how far along her twin was in her pregnancy or whatever. And like here and there I'll bring up like, oh, so when do I get to meet her, and like whenever we were supposed to meet her, like me, J-Lo and Beyonce, it would always be some excuse like, oh, she has practice, or oh, my mom picked her up early, or something like that. Like it would always be some type of excuse as to why we couldn't meet her. Now granted, at the time, like the house that I used to live in, I had one of my neighbors that I was actually really good friends with. Let's call him Justin, right? So Justin actually knew Britney from this elementary school that all of us went to or whatever. And Justin was like, I don't remember Britney having a twin.
And I'm just like, yeah, she said she had a twin. Like, why would she lie? Again, why would she lie about something like that? Because that girl got issues.
Well, she had issues. So again, no beef. I have no idea what's going on with her life right now. That I was like, but she had issues. Okay. Fast forward, I would say maybe like around, I think it was maybe like after Christmas break. I don't think it was around springtime, but I think it was kind of like halfway in between like winter and spring, like around like January, February in the semester, there was a new girl that had joined her class, and let's call her Aaliyah, right? I'm over here listing all these singers and whatnot, but it's cool. That's just how the story ended up working out. So basically, Aaliyah had joined our class. I would say I feel like it was a couple weeks after like Christmas break. I could be completely wrong, but I do know that she wasn't in like the original class in the beginning of the school year. So we actually ended up, so me, Britney, J-Lo, Beyonce, we all ended up befriending. What the heck did I just say her name was? Aaliyah. There we go. So we ended up, friending Aaliyah. And basically, it was kind of like me, Aaliyah, and Britney were more close than with Beyonce and J-Lo. And again, once again, Britney had told Aaliyah that she has a twin. Now, Aaliyah, because mind you, I mean, granted, I really definitely feel like Beyonce and J-Lo knew that Britney didn't have a twin, but they didn't want to really like dig into it because they didn't want like any like drama or like conflict or nothing like that. So they kind of just let it fly, because she wouldn't bring her twin up a lot, but it'll be like random situations. Like we'll be talking about something random, like, oh, I flew into a wall. She'd be like, oh yeah, that happened to my twin at such and such time. Like she would do like stuff like that or whatever. So I'm just like, okay. So literally Aaliyah was low-key like really like, okay, like where's your twin at? Like I want to see your twin, da 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 da. So it was one day, because I remember it was a lot warmer, so I feel like it was like towards the end of the school year kind of, and I dead thought we were going to finally see Britney's twin, like literally the whole day. And then the thing is too, like it was funny because Britney would like show us pictures of like herself and try to be like, oh yeah, this is my twin. And I'm just like, well, can I see like a picture of y'all like together? Or, and then she would, what would she say? I think she would say something along the lines of like, oh, like we don't like taking pictures together or something like that. I'm just like, okay. And again, me being gullible, I believed her or whatever, but we were finally supposed to meet her. They would talk about it all day, and then I'm literally waiting, and mind you, like the way how after school was, everybody would basically wait in like the main courtyard, and people's buses will start coming in. So everybody's bus would always come around the same time at the end of the day, but you would always have to listen out for your bus number, because if you missed the bus, you either had to get picked up or you had to walk home. Like there was no such thing as Uber and stuff like that back in the day. So I'm sitting there waiting, and mind you, it's like 15 plus minutes later, I'm over here texting Britney or whatever and all this other stuff, and she like never showed up. She said that, oh, her mom ended up picking them up or something like that. And then I would say like a couple weeks later, she was like, oh yeah, my sister gave birth and all this other stuff and da 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 da, and she's stressed out because she's trying to figure out how she's gonna still be in school and take care of a baby and da da da. Like she had this whole narrative. Not only did she have a twin, but her twin was having a teen pregnancy. Like she was having like a whole telenovela like storyline for this chick, and I'm just like, okay, like I really wish I knew more details, and honestly I feel like it was a lot more stuff that had happened, but I don't want to say something and then be wrong. So this is stuff that I know like 1000% that did happen. Aaliyah's like, yo, there's no way this girl got a twin. I'm like, oh, but why would you say that? Da, 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 da. Like I'm pretty sure she does. Like again, me giving her the benefit of the doubt and me believing that whatever the heck she said out of her freaking mouth was true. Now this is where the story gets a little bit interesting, because to me, it's one thing if you lie about yourself and like your personal life, whatever, like, okay, like you want to say whatever you want to say, like it's whatever. Again, at this point I started like looking at her sideways, so I'm just like, why? Like I haven't seen like any of your siblings at all. Now granted, I didn't have any of my siblings on my Facebook account, I don't think, at the time, but like if you wanted to meet them, you could have came over my house and met them, because they're real, you know. So this is where the story gets a little bit interesting, and this is kind of when things kind of turn for the worse between like me and Britney's relationship, right? So I at the time was best friend with this girl named Iggy. Right, so I was best friends with this girl named Iggy. And like mind you, like me and Iggy, we like sometimes we would walk home together or whatever, because I would say she lived maybe like 10 or so minutes away from me, so like here and there like we would walk home together, whatever. So anyways, so basically me and Iggy were really close friends. Like we were like best friends. Like I dead confided in her and everything. Like granted, like I have no shame in admitting this, because again, this happened forever ago. And even if it was true today, who cares? But I, at the time, was like bi-curious, and I was like low-key talking to this girl or whatever. But it was nothing serious. But the only person I had told was Iggy, because I confided in her, and like she was all happy and excited and whatnot because I had confided in her. And it wasn't like nothing shady or nothing like that. She was just happy that like that I trusted her with something like that, because that was like a big deal to say something like that. Like even 10 years ago, like that was crazy to admit something like that, you know what I mean? Now granted, now that was like a little phase that I went through. Like honestly, I literally talked to one girl and she was a dyke, and that was it. And it really wasn't nothing serious. Like we never met up and chilled. It was always just us texting or whatever. So nothing really came a part of that. I personally, I consider myself a straight female. Like I'm not interested in dykes, femmes, nothing like that. Like I want a man. Okay, I want a man. But anyways, so basically what ended up happening was okay, I would also say that I had a big mouth, and I wouldn't like maliciously tell somebody else's business to try to be messy. It would honestly just slip out my mouth. So I can admit that I was wrong, because what ended up happening was I told Brittany something that Iggy had told me, and it was kind of like a secret. But low-key, I didn't feel like it was that much of a secret, but I guess it was a secret because Iggy got so upset that I had said that, apparently. But what ended up happening was, I forget what it was, but basically Iggy had told me something, and it wasn't like a deep dark secret, because if it was something like that I would have never said it. But me and Brittany were talking or whatever, and it kind of had slipped out, but I didn't go into too much detail. But it was enough for Iggy to be like, yo, like Diamond's talking crap, basically. Because basically what ended up happening was, what Brittany did was that little piece of information that slipped out of my mouth, she actually twisted it and made it a whole nother thing. So I do not remember for the life of me what the heck it was, but let's just say, for the sake of the story, so you guys can kind of understand more what had happened. Let's say, for example, she told me a secret about how, let's just say the secret was like that her vagina smelled funky, right? Now, mind you, that was no way, shape, or form the secret at all. Again, I cannot remember what it was, but that was not the secret whatsoever. Like, no. But let's just say, for example, it was for the sake of the story. So basically, I had said that, like, oh, you know, Iggy feels like her vagina smells a little funny or whatever. It was like real nonchalant, and I didn't go into detail or nothing like that, like how Iggy went into detail about it. But what Brittany basically did was she took that and ran with it, and she basically went back to Iggy and told Iggy, because mind you, her and Iggy somewhat talked or whatever. I don't think they were like best friends, but they were cool. So apparently Brittany had ran back to Iggy and told Iggy,
oh, Diamond had told me that you said that your vagina stinks and it smells horrible and it smells like fish, and all the dudes you sleep with say it stinks.
So all this stuff, like basically like exaggerating the crap out of it. Like I didn't say all that extra stuff. Now mind you, again, that wasn't what she told me at all. That was not the secret whatsoever. But to get you guys like a better understanding, like she basically took what I said and she like made it over dramatic. I don't know what the right verbiage for it was, but basically like she basically like blew out of proportion. Like she made it seem like I was dead talking so much crap about her. So basically, not only was Iggy mad at me because I basically like said a secret that she confided in me in, but she was also mad at the fact that I was talking crap about her, which I wasn't. But I do understand now as an adult that, hey, like I shouldn't have opened up my mouth and said even that little part of what she had told me. So basically, and the funny thing is too, I didn't even know that Iggy had an issue with me. I did know that Iggy started acting a little bit funny towards me, but it wasn't funny to the point where I legit thought something was wrong. I just thought that she was going through something, because at the time, again, I haven't talked to any of these people in years, bro. Like I don't even know if I even still have them on social media, to be completely honest. But at the time, like Iggy would go through like these, like would you call those mood swings? Like, she would go through those times where like she was okay, but then there's also times that she would kind of be like depressed in a way. And so that's kind of what I took it as, was she was kind of like dissing a little bit. Like, she wasn't like nasty towards me to the point where I'm just like, okay, this girl legit got a problem with me. But it was more like she was kind of distant, so I didn't think anything of it, you know. And then one random day, Brittany comes up to me and she was
like, oh, I was talking to Iggy, and Iggy had told me that you were bi and you talked to a dyke and all this stuff and da.
Mind you, she was leaving out the part, Brittany was leaving out the part about how she ran her mouth to Iggy, right? So I'm just like, so I'm over here thinking like, yo, like, why the heck is Iggy telling like my secrets out to people like that? Like, that's messed up. Now, mind you, Iggy's the type of person that once you're friends with her, she will be your ride or die, okay? Like, she will help you hide a body. Like, she's loyal. But as soon as you taint that trust or mess with that trust, she'll dead air all your business out and not even think twice. Like, she's that type of person. You know that friend group that you're with for your classes, like in high school especially, or like school in general, you have your certain friend groups for certain things. Like, you have your friend groups for your classes, you got your friends outside of school, you got your friends that you have like band with, choir with, etc, etc. You know, everybody has a certain group of friends for different things, or at least that's how it was for me, right? So me and Iggy's friend group, like we would actually like want to hang out with people outside of school, was basically the same people. So even the people our friend group started getting involved, and they were just like, yo, like, I'm hearing you're talking crap about her, and I'm hearing she's talking crap about you. Like, what's going on? So finally, I forget who the heck was the mediator, but somebody was the mediator, and finally me and Iggy basically like talked to everything out. Iggy was like, well, Brittany told me that you said XYZ She was, and I was like, oh, well, Brittany told me that you said XYZ So, and then Iggy had basically said, yeah, I said it. But she was like, how? But she was kind of like over, again, like what basically she did with me, she made it like over dramatic. I don't even know if I'm using even the right verbiage, but she basically like blew it up more than what it was. So me and Iggy ended up making up after that. But because that happened, me and Iggy both wanted to fight Brittany. Now, what ended up happening was Justin, remember the beginning of the story, well, towards the middle of the story anyways, he knew Brittany before high school, like before I even met her. So I'm pretty sure he was the one that told me that she's a cop caller, like she'll call the cops. So I didn't want to fight her because I wouldn't say I was a punk, I was smart. Because what I look like trying to go to juvie or something like that for fighting somebody? The way my personality was back then, I would not survive juvie. Now I'll be okay with juvie. I won't be able to have my nails as long as they are now, but trust and believe I will survive in juvie. Jail, that's a different situation. I will not survive in jail. No. So anyways, so the personality that I had back in freshman year, I didn't even like conflict in general. My freshman year in high school, like I feel like I was scared of having conflict with people. I would say up until like, actually no, 10th grade I had conflict with a group of girls. And I guess I got fed up to the point where I didn't even care anymore. I just popped off. But anyways, but for the most part, I didn't like conflict, especially with people that I actually considered my friends. So I honestly don't remember what happened with Iggy and Brittany. I don't think they ended up fighting because I'm pretty sure I would have went to go watch it. Because again, here and there, me and Iggy would walk home together, whatever. I don't think they ended up fighting, but basically, I heard she was a cop caller, and people, like other people that knew her, like before freshman year in high school, would say that, oh, like who was it? Some girl that I was cool with said that she had tried to fight her because she be lying. And she was dead hiding in her house, and her mom was about to call the cops on everybody. So basically I'm just like, you know what, there's no point, but I'm not gonna bang with you no more. So basically our little like friend group or whatever in homeroom, they were more cool with me than they were with her, but they didn't have really like a lot of animosity towards her. That's pretty much the end of the story. Like I swear this drama was all over the place. Hopefully by the time I edit it, it'll make more sense. But that's basically like the first like bit of drama in my life, honestly, when it came to other people. Like y'all, I was so gullible. I dead thought for maybe like 80% of the freaking school year. Mind you, I saw this girl almost every day. Like 80% of the school year, I believe this sis had a twin. Like, but yeah, that was basically the end of the story time with that particular situation. Like, I was dead best friends with a compulsive liar. Like, she honestly, I feel like she lied about a lot of stuff in her life. Like, I think she lied about what her mom did for a living, what her dad did, all that stuff. But the main thing she lied about was having a twin. And on top of that, that her twin was pregnant. Like, to this day, I'm just like, what possessed her to even come up with that? Like, did she think that was gonna impress me? Did she think that she sounded cool by saying that? Like, I dead don't understand. Like, you can lie about a lot of things. Like, it would have made more sense for her to lie about how much money she had than her having a twin. I'm just saying, because eventually the truth's gonna come out with that one. Same thing if you lie about being pregnant, it's gonna come out eventually. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I'm gonna try to do more of these like story time slash like chit chat videos with you guys that I'm literally just sitting here and talking, because when I be trying to do my makeup at the same time, I don't know, it's just a different vibe when I'm just sitting here just talking to you guys, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said before, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl down below. Let me know if you guys have ever been friends with somebody who lies a lot, or if you guys had any like freshman, middle school slash high school drama. Definitely let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next one.